Hey fellow collectors, this is Rob DeLeon with the DeLeon Garage Collection, and today's question is, have you ever wanted a do-over? And sometimes in life you get a chance to do something over, and sometimes it turns out better than the original, and sometimes it doesn't. But today I think I can show you an example of something that actually is better than the original, at least in my opinion. Let's take a look.
Born to run, baby. Born to run. Welcome to the DeLeon.
Behold, my original Dragon Wheels by Matchbox. This vehicle would have been produced from 1972 to 1978 in 1/59th scale. Now, I don't remember when I received it as a kid, but that would have probably put me between the years of 4 years and 10 years old. Now, that's quite a long run. But as you can tell, I've played with this thing as a kid. It was one of my favorite vehicles, and I think this vehicle is probably what started my love of Volkswagen. So let's take a closer look at it. Obviously, as we can see, this car has been well played with and well loved, and you can tell that there's decals that are missing, a lot of paint chips, and the axles are very loose, the wheels are very worn. But in life, sometimes you get a do-over, and I will never get rid of this car because this is actually one of my original toys. But let me show you the first do-over. Now, this vehicle here was produced in 1997, and this is part of the Premier Retro 70s collection. And apparently this one was one of 25,000. And if we look at the back of this card, we can tell that there were other vehicles in this particular line that were also created as part of this line. And we have here the Dodge Dragster, the Dragon Wheels, a Chevy van, Tarzana, Big Banger, Pied Piper. I know I had this one here, and I know I definitely had that Charger, but this one was the one that really caught my eye as a kid. And so I'm assuming that this is kind of similar to the box that this would have come in. Of course, I don't remember. I was probably 4 or 5 years old. But that's really something special to me, to have this car as a part of my collection. And if we take a look at this vehicle, and we're going to take a little bit closer look here, we can see it's very similar to the original, if almost not exactly. We still feature the yellow windows, the same decal, except this one here has a little bit of a different cut to it, whereas this one was more straight across. Same wheels. And if we look at the back of the vehicle, we can see that now we have a painted parachute and painted taillights. So in my opinion, they've updated a little bit with a little bit more detail. And I mean, how can you not like this vehicle? You know, I'll never get rid of the original because that was my childhood toy. But just to know that this one is part of my collection is very special. That takes care of our first do-over. Let's take a look at another do-over. And I present to you do-over number 2. Now here they don't call it the Dragon Wheels, but they call it the 1972 Volkswagen Beetle Dragster. And so this is the box it came in. It just so happens that one of my first Volkswagens was a 1972 Bug. Here they talk about the Volkswagen in general. And if we look at the other side of the box, we can see now that it is licensed by all these different companies here. And this was produced in 2021. Let's take a closer look inside the package. And here is the back of the package that it comes in. Beautiful presentation. And obviously they've updated this car tremendously. And so this is the sleeve that comes wrapped over the top of the jewel case. And we'll take a closer look at this car. And then I will pull the sleeve out so we can look at it unencumbered by the plastic sleeve. As we can see, the vehicle here, bottom of the packaging, and the car is actually screwed into the base, which is good. You don't want it flopping around there. And here is the Bug out of its little cocoon. And as we can see, the car has a couple of different changes to it. Casting's a little bit different. If you take a look at the original, and we look at the back of it, we can see the parachute is a little bit different. This parachute's in plastic now. And we can see it still retains the same little spoiler up here at the top, the same taillights, but look at the front end. This one had kind of a little splitter on the front, and this one is more pointed like an original Volkswagen front end. We still retain the yellow windows, but look at the stance of this car. It's unbelievable. It looks like a drag car would look. It's got the very, very large tires in the back and the little skinny tires up front, and the stance is pretty nice. I've often thought about pulling this little rubber band off. I don't know if that's going to do anything in the future to the car. But as you can see on the top of the car here, we have all of our logos. These are all the license logos. We see there's much different paintwork on it, and no longer are these actually decals. Those are tampos. And so here they do call it the Dragon Wheels. Looks like they've done something with the headlights. They've painted the little headlights in there. Obviously, being a funny car, it would have been basically a fiberglass body, and so usually they would paint the headlights on those cars just to kind of make them look realistic, even though they're not functional. But look at that car. Is that not gorgeous? I almost even have to get it even closer to this thing. Let's take a look at that thing close up. Also, we can see the inside of the vehicle still features the chrome interior and the small red, I guess you would call it a body prop. But this car just looks amazing. And it's nice having this car as part of my collection, knowing that I had the original as a kid. And man, I can just look at this thing all day. That's an awesome looking car. And now you can see where they show you, it says MBX, Matchbox Dragon Wheels. But they were really close to the original when they were trying to do the update on that decal. And I really love the fact that they chose to go with this pearlescent metallic green. Probably one of my favorite colors ever. That thing just looks gorgeous. And I don't know if this would be considered a Spectra Flame, but you can definitely tell it looks like it's a translucent paint and the color of the metal's coming through. This car is unbelievable. It's a very, very nice part of my collection. And so there you have the original with the newest version. And if you can ever find yourself one of these, this is definitely, that's the cream of the crop right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back of this package here. As you can see, they took some artistic license here with this illustration. Obviously, this was probably the concept for this vehicle. And here we show that the original casting was from 1972 to 1977, and that was the number 43. And then that followed up with 1982 with the hot chocolate. Now, I don't have that one, and I don't know what that one looked like. I guess I can look it up. 1983 to 84, they came out with the Beetle Streaker. And then in 1997, they came out with the Dragon Wheels. Now, that is the one I have here. That's the 1997 Dragon Wheels. So this one here is the newest one, which is the Custom 72 Beetle Dragster. And this is just an awesome car, guys. If you guys don't have this one, find one. They're probably still being sold here and there. They're probably going to go for big bucks. I don't know. I haven't ever looked. But that is probably one of the nicest cars in my collection. So with that, guys, sometimes again in life you get a do-over, and I definitely think this do-over was well worth it because this car just looks awesome. Anyway, guys, we will talk to you later. Bye for now. Thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please give us a like and subscribe.